Bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. I absolutely love this thing on the first run, so we are revisiting it for a high mileage test today. Now, if you are looking for a new training shoe, maybe the Hyperion Max or the Mag Max or the Superblast, you gotta make sure you're on the Supwell app. It's my app, and guess what? It's the best buy, sell, and trade running shoe marketplace out there. We got hobby joggers all around who get a shoe like this. Maybe it doesn't fit their foot correctly. They put 1 or 2 runs on it, and then they list it on the app for well below MSRP. It's also the best place to find race shoe deals because, again, people will get a shoe, it doesn't work for them. They list it for below MSRP and pass on a deal to a hobby jogger. So if you're looking for a new shoe or a new community to help you stay accountable, chase those goals, get in with us and enjoy today's video.
It's gonna be a good day today. Woke up and the pancake train was absolutely rolling. Let's go. Man, that's crazy. We got the summertime vibe coming through on the camera. Anytime you bring this camera out, the lens just fogs up from the humidity. That dew point is high today. You can see it, you can feel it, but those are the summertime vibes, baby. This morning I'm listening to the new Benny the Butcher album. His stuff hasn't really hit for me recently, past 2-3 years, but man, there's some slappers on there. He's getting back in that grimy bag. The one I was just listening to, he had gold-plated Fire with OT. If you want that grimy, summertime, old-school hip-hop feel, check this one out, gold-plated. And what was the one before this called? 77 Club. That was also good. Honestly, so far there haven't really been any skips on here. He also has really good producers. A few songs with Derringer. Mike Will made it. Overall fire. So go ahead and check that one out. I think it just dropped yesterday. Anyway, today we're going to get some miles in the Brooks Hyperion Max 3. There's just been so much heat that's dropped recently. I think yesterday was the last shoe in the batch of July releases that I needed to get through. We had Hyperion Max 3, Primex Strung 3, Hyperion Elite 5, Hoka Rocket X3, the Aero Blazer. There's just so many. And there's even some more that I still have sitting in boxes. Saucony Hurricane 25, right? There's just so many shoes. So it's been hard to get, I don't even want to say revisits. It's been hard to just train in the shoes that I like. I have been able to get, first day I did a 14-mile day. I did 10 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. And then I think I did 1 or 2 other runs in this so far. I think I did 1 other run. It was a 4 or a 6-mile run. So far, I have absolutely loved this thing. This is the Brooks Max Stack training shoe. You have the DNA gold foam. Look at that. Bang. DNA gold foam. On top, it is a PIBA base foam. And then you have their older race, or not, actually it's not the race foam, the older training variant of the race foam, DNA Flash V2, which is a supercritical EVA TPEE blend. Did I say 3 E's there? TPEE? No. It's just sometimes when I say P and then the double E, it throws me off. But anyway, dual foam. Top layer, the soft and bouncy. Bottom layer of the firmer, more stable foam. Great rocker here and really tall stack. So the protection has been great. The bounce has been great. The pep and pop has been great. Also has a super rigid plate in here. I mean, look at this. I cannot flex this at all. It's almost stiffer than a carbon plate with this plastic. So a lot of elements of tech in here that make this a fun, fast ride. Today I want to do some high mileage testing because, let's crank it down 1 touch right there. But the one area of weakness I've found so far is actually perhaps the comfort. Now, it's a very versatile shoe. I can do my daily miles. I can go and rip. First run, I was hammering at a 6 flat pace in this thing. But how is it going to do for longer, more relaxed miles? Now, there's been a lot of people who've gotten this after the first review, and even some people who got it before the first review, like our friend Grant, who runs Supwell Social, and he liked it a lot for daily miles. People on the app have liked it a lot for daily miles, but I generally prefer something more comfortable. And my hunch was that this could be a rotation killer, but I want to see if that's true. Can this actually do those daily miles? Because the danger of having a shoe like this as a daily trainer, of course, there's the the injury risk of running in a plated shoe that people cite, but that is going to be minimized if you train smartly. You don't go out and run harder than you're capable of doing, and you also do rotate slightly. Also, if you work up to using shoes like this in the rotation, you don't just all of a sudden switch into using this every day from something like an Ultra Paradigm. Anyway, the danger of using a shoe like this, ignoring injury risk, ignoring the plated aspect, even a non-plated shoe like the Aeroblaze 3, is that it forces you to run faster than you intend on these daily runs. And this is something that happened to me this week. Just this week when I was in the Aeroblaze 3, I came out here and I ran 12 miles at a 7 flat pace the day before a workout, and I just completely exhausted myself, and I missed on my workout paces yesterday. It was quite frustrating, but I knew that I was running too hard and that I didn't recover afterwards, etc. That's what can happen. So for me, I want to see, can this be a daily trainer, or is it, or at least a shoe that you could use for more than just workouts and long runs, or is it really just that pure workout / long run shoe, similar to something like the Prime X Strung 3 or a taller stack Adidas Boston 13. So other things that we're going to keep an eye on today, the upper. I've actually seen a few of these go up on the Supwell app because the upper, it has been very restrictive and narrow for some people, and it's ironic because the Hyperion Max 2 had a relatively high volume, wide fitting upper compared to the shoes in the category, and with this one they've swung it into the other direction. You can just see here from the top, it's almost sausage-like right here at the top, very narrow in the front. So that's one of the things. Other things, we'll just see how the upper does in the summer heat today. I do remember on that first run, I felt like it was getting slightly warmer because you have this thicker sock fit material. Nothing too bad, and it's hard for any shoe to go through the summer gauntlet here when it's 90 degrees. And then, of course, we will keep an eye on the rubber wear because if we get 16, 18, 20 miles today, that will put us up around 30 plus miles. And you can already see we do have some minor foam wear in the back at just about 20, I think 18 to 20 miles of use here. So those are the things we're going to keep an eye on. The wear of the shoe, how does the upper do, and then the ride and the versatility. I'm also eager to see if it breaks in because it's not a firm shoe. It's Goldilocks for me, but I do feel that it gets better when I run faster. So I'm curious, once I start getting up past 25, 30 miles in it, will it feel softer and more comfort oriented? So with that, let's lace this bad boy up. I feel like we've had as many good music releases this month as shoe releases. It's just been heat, straight heat. Larry June and Cardo, Boldy and Nick Craven, Pusha T, aka Clips. Honestly, that's probably been my least favorite. I know that's surprising for some people. I just have not been able to get into that one. But then we had the Benny the Butcher. I feel like there's one that I'm forgetting that's come out in July. But there's just been so many good ones. Oh, other weird thing here. So lacing this thing up, Hyperion Max 3, the sock fit goes up pretty high right here. So I have these features, the tab socks on, and the upper is higher than the sock. And so there's sock trade-offs too, because if you go with a higher crew length sock, you lose the pad out in the back. And you can see with this pad, this is going to protect any rubbing or weirdness from the back of the upper. Now, having this exposed part here, it's not going to cut me up. It actually did in the Magnify. You can see I'm scarring from where the Magnify 3 cut me up. But you can also see that the upper is now getting dirty because my sweat and the dirt comes and rolls down and gets on the upper. So upper is probably the weakest part of this shoe, actually. And again, that's ironic because on the Hyperion Max 2, the upper was fantastic. So sometimes these brands make changes, but maybe here's the thing. I've actually seen leaks of the Hyperion Max 4, and it's the same midsole. So maybe they purposely made the Hyperion Max 3 upper bad so that in the 4, they could make it good. You ever thought about that? It's probably the aliens who built the pyramids as well. All right, we got this thing laced up. Goal for this morning, 12 to 14 miles. We'll see how I'm feeling. I also still have not located the GoPro, so we're in the vintage GoPro era again. We're gonna be rocking with the Hero 8 today. I actually don't even think I charged it, so we'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, we're gonna have that 2014 aesthetic back. Let's do it. Can't stop me, bro. Back outside with the GoPro Hero 8. Had to give you that grimy feel. Like Benny the Butcher. These boys shooting in 4K. The only 4K I know is 4-kilometer repeats. Shooting 1080 only to remind me of all the mileage I put in my 1080 V13s. Ah. The mileage coming, jogger. I might need to hire Benny the Butcher. Remember Cameo? That site that lets you hire people to do things? I'm gonna hire Benny the Butcher to drop some ad libs for their channel. The mileage coming, jogger. Man, we let the cicadas do the ad libs today. Talk to them. Man, this thing just refused to turn on. Now I'm remembering why I got a new one. Yeah, the protection and bounce on these, great. Top notch. Feels a lot more substantial than the Speed 5. And then the comfort is better than the Evo SL. And compared to something like the Boston 13, this is just higher off the ground. Feels like more of a cushioned cruiser. And it's funny because Adidas doesn't have a direct competitor to this. This is somewhere in between the Evo and the Prime X Strong 3. And it's priced accordingly too. Garmin told me I should rest and sleep today. That's a personal affront. Don't tell me to rest and sleep. It's despicable. Maybe make your battery last longer than 2 days before you tell me to rest and sleep. You need to rest and sleep. Garmin, mile 1, that was an 8 something slow. I think that's the slowest mile of running these. And I actually feel fine. Definitely not as comfortable as a max cushion shoe, but I don't mind having some more bounce and assistance for recovery pace. The one thing is though, I can definitely feel that stiff plate in here, and it's not uncomfortable, but it just makes me want to run fast. I was talking to somebody who I respect recently, and they were saying a lot of success in business is luck, and the trick is minimizing that luck, reducing it, or hopefully eliminating it altogether. That's what makes systems so great, man. Instead of relying on going viral, for example, if you're a content business and virality is largely luck, instead of relying on virality and luck, build systems that ensure you get consistent progress, like posting daily or posting on a certain cadence.
And it's the same thing with running, man. There is no luck in running. We gotta build the systems to be successful. Mile 2, 7:51. Let them see the pain in 1080p. That's what the P stands for. Pain. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah, this is one of those mornings where I feel like the NBA players in Space Jam, after the Monstars attacked them, they're just out there on the court, double dribble, travel, forgot how to shoot. No juice today. Mile 5, 7:48. Feels like I'm running with a weighted vest on today. Real deal copperhead right there. It's just one of those weeks, man. I'm dragging. Wow, this is abysmal. Mile 8, 8:45 pace. I'm just crawling along. This is one of those runs that I just want it to be over as soon as it started. This is probably my worst run since that terrible long run. Just having no juice at all today. It's the type of run that makes me want to take up golfing. It's the type of run that makes me want to put more effort into my day job. It's the type of run that makes me want to start drinking beer and eating steak again. Out here living like a mileage monk for no reason. It's the type of run that might make me become a hybrid athlete, man. It's the type of run that might make me accept VC money for Supwell. I'm selling out, baby. I'm done. I'm cashing out on this venture. It's a wrap. I'm retiring. Type of run that might make me sell this entire thing to Fleet Feet. Call it a day. I just saw a beautiful black Porsche 911 drive by. I think it's a sign from God. He's telling me to sell out. Saying, end this, you wanna? Get some sponsors, get some investors, make it easy on yourself, cash out. All right, I'm on mile 11. Let's talk about the shoes. These are awesome, so easy to run in. I'm just taking them over here. I have no energy, but the shoes are doing a lot of the work for me. This is great. It's honestly a great shoe if you're feeling weak and miserable, because it'll just help you run. This is the opposite of that Takumi mid 11 yesterday, which was making me do all the work. This is like a cheat code for running. $704 900 0311. I just saw a sign, 704 900 0311. It's for Mosquito Joe's. They come in, they spray all the chemicals to massacre the mosquitoes. That's what I need in my house, a mosquito genocide. I think I'm gonna call them up. the roosters are getting it in. Man, that was a big dog run right there. Man, my body was telling me no that entire time. My watch was telling me no. It told me to sleep and rest. I felt like I wanted to quit that run from mile 4 onward. Did not feel good. I can feel it in my body. I'm underfueled. I can feel it in my soul. Man, my soul is aching today. I'm underfueled. I'm tired. I'm dragging. But guess what? Still put up a 14 piece. And I don't want to advocate for overtraining or pushing yourself. You definitely need to listen to your body. But for me, personally, I'm going to tell you right now, these are the runs that have made me into the runner I am today. A very solid marathon runner. Being able to just come out here and absolutely push myself to the brink. And, dude, I think my heart rate was in the 120s or something for most of that. That was just, average heart rate 126. I could barely get the legs turning over to get it up there. But, man, just the ability to come out here and feeling really miserable, just absolutely miserable. But to finish that run, to go out and do what I set out to do, that's really the only thing that sets me apart from anybody else. And man, I can hang my hat on that. You know that expression? You can hang your hat on that. That's really the thing I can consistently hang my hat on. It's the same thing that I do on the channel, just putting up shots every day. There's nothing special to it. And I think that's the allure of the marathon to me and what I like about running. If you just come out here and do your job every day, build that system of mileage and execute, you will get faster. There's no magic to it. Of course, it would be easier and I would have fewer bad runs if I cut my mileage to 30 miles a week, but I wouldn't be progressing and I wouldn't be getting the best out of myself. So, man, sometimes these absolutely miserable runs are the best. We got 14 up on them, man. I'm proud of that. I am proud of that. I'm just going to say it. I'm proud of that. Benny the Butcher said, I left the keys at the crib like a responsible drinker. That's a bar, man. Yeah, dude, it's hot. The cicadas are out. The mileage is high. It's the summertime grit. And let me tell you, it is these runs right here, man. We put 14 up, just crawling along, feeling miserable, nothing in the tank, dead legs. Is these runs right here. It's not the tempo runs. It's not the interval workouts. It's these ones. Putting up 20-mile days, putting up 2-hour runs when we don't feel like it, when we feel like taking a 30-minute recovery run where our Garmin tells us to sleep. It is these runs right here that earn the PRs. It's not the big workouts, man. I have fought so hard to consistently put up these 100-mile weeks, to consistently put up these 20-mile days, and it was just an absolute grind to make it through that run. I went to some dark places. But there is nothing sweeter than the feeling of accomplishment and of doing what we set out to do. So 14 this morning, yeah, I was feeling just so low out there. But just being able to cross the threshold of my house, the finish line, and have the 14 secure, that's a good feeling. So, Brooks Hyperion Max 3. This is the other thing, man. This is the thing that you've heard me talk about if you watch this channel. A great shoe can save a bad run from turning into a horrible run. So let's throw up this place here. You got 14. I had some miles there where I was cruising closer to 7:30. In the beginning, I was thinking, okay, let me try to pick it up. I'm not feeling it today, but let me at least get down to my daily zone. Let me get down to 7:30. I held that for a few miles, and then I just so slowly faded into nothingness and my legs melted into molasses. But this shoe was awesome. This is a complete tank, man. So far, this is going up into that Mag Max category for me in terms of a high mileage workhorse. Now, there are two different flavors of Max Stack high performance. Mag Max, non-plated, slightly more comfort oriented, also less of a rocker, more stability in the heel. This one, you get the really aggressive rocker. Just the design language looks so aggressive. It's not as swoopy as the Mag Max. You can tell that one is more oriented to be a bouncy, relaxed shoe. This one is more of the speed shoe. You get the super stiff and rigid plate in here, but it is just so easy to run in this thing. It's like a cheat code, man. Even more than the Prime X Strong 3. This harkens back to me to something like the Prime X Strong OG in terms of that ease of running, just completely taking the burden off your legs. It reminds me of what a lot of people talk about with the Superblast 2, especially bigger runners. I know a lot of people who are 200 plus pounds who are running 9-minute paces to 14-minute paces. Absolutely love the Superblast for taking that impact off and making it easy to run. That's what this thing is doing for me here. So goes up there in that category for me of just absolute A+, top tier, stellar shoes. Miserable run, but the performance of this was so good. And it answered that question that I had this morning. Is this going to be able to flex into more of the recovery zone? So my slowest miles today were just so slow for me personally. 8:30, 8:40, 8:50. I'm not really running anything slower than 8 flat for me these days. I'm hurting. So I was hurting pretty good out there. I'm not hurting, but just had no juice. I told you, I felt like the NBA players in Space Jam after the Monstars sucked their powers away out there. Just, I don't know if you ever had one of those dreams or if it's just a me thing, but if you ever had a dream where you're trying to run fast, it sounds like a me thing only, probably, that you just can't move the legs. That's what it felt like out there. But surprisingly good for that, right? The issue with a lot of these max cushion speed oriented shoes with the plates, and for me the Superblast as well, is you have to run fast. With this, I don't have to run fast, but I have run fast in it. First run out of the box, I was cruising at 550. So a shoe that can flex to do a bunch of different things. Now, it's not the silver bullet. It still is not, of course, it's not going to be the most comfortable. This is not a more V6, which is a max cushion walking shoe. It's not a Bandai. It's not a Vomero. It does have a way more restrictive upper. I have to say, with my foot, so I fit 10.5 in pretty much everything. Maybe my foot is slightly on the big side of 10.5, but for the most part, 10.5 is perfect for me. This fits really well for me, and I didn't feel anything too low volume, and this was the longest run I've done in it so far, so I didn't feel like it was beating me up. I didn't feel like my feet were banging up against the front. My toes don't feel like they were jammed up right now. So I think for most people out there, you should get away with this. If you typically wear a 2E or have a finicky foot, it's probably not going to work. And I told you I've seen at least one go up on the Supwell app so far because it had a narrower, more restrictive fit in the toe box. So that's just something to keep in mind. But yeah, the range is there. The bounce is absolutely incredible. The speed is there. Just top tier shoe for me. So yeah, I'm feeling I should probably get some recovery. I do have my electrolytes right here. And I've said this before, but these are the days where my neighbor he's got the lawnmower going. These are the days where you have to make the call for yourself. Do you want to push it and get the mileage? Do you want to cut and get the recovery? For me, most of the time, I think it's worth it to get the mileage. It's also just mentally, man, if I had cut this run at 8 miles, I would have been super sad, for lack of a better word, just sad. Oh, I cut my run, I didn't get my mileage, blah, blah. But then just getting 14 in and of itself is an accomplishment, even if it's slow. So I say slow it down, get the mileage if you can, and we just got to make sure we recover. So why don't I go do that? I have to figure out something to make for lunch here. I've just been pounding water since we got back. I also have a few pancakes up there still from breakfast. That was good work though. That's solid work. 14 is no joke, especially in this heat. I just did the intro, but one more thing that I want to talk about. The comfort in the forefoot. So before we go up there, really good. That was something that I've gone back and forth on with the plastic plate, with the slightly firmer foam on the bottom. How is the comfort going to stand up for the higher miles? And surprisingly, this disappeared on foot, and it felt softer as we were going into that run. And just pushing it in right now, oh gosh, it's so soft, it's slipping out of my hands. But it really does feel that it's broken in some. So I think if you're worried about this being too firm, give it some time to break in and it should soften up some. This is 100% in that Goldilocks zone for me, and we'll see, because I'm going to take it out later today for some more miles this afternoon. Hopefully it feels even softer or just as soft as it did at the end of that run. So man, muy bien, A+ for me right now. This is just a complete banger, absolute high mileage tank. Let's go get some recovery. Man, I love it when a shoe gets better with miles, beats my expectations, and surprises me. That's the holy trinity right there. That's the trifecta of shoe greatness. Right? Because the issue with the shoe like this is it can feel amazing out of the box for pushing the pace, and then we come out here on a high mileage day and it just feels lackluster or overly firm and not comfortable. But no, the comfort was awesome, way better than I expected. Felt great for going long. It didn't get foam fatigue. It's the total package, baby. So if it can make it through the full 20-piece gauntlet today, man, we're gonna have some problems. We're gonna have some serious problems. This one is making its way up the power rankings, that's for sure. All right, man, refuel time. By the way, we had the Benny the Butcher. I've listened to it 1.5 times through now. I'm on the second time through. It is fire. The last few things he's dropped have been good. I actually like the collab with 38 Special. That was probably my favorite of the stuff that he's released recently, but it's been pretty hit or miss for me. Nothing has reached the level of Tana Talk 3 or plugs I'm at. Actually, Tana Talk 4 was okay, which released a few years ago, but this is really good. I burnt my burger. No, I burnt my burger. Look at that. That's not good. But yeah, this new album, really good. The production is top notch, man. The vibe is good. The issue with him is sometimes his beat selection isn't the best, but I mean, the producers on this are just great. Derringer, Mike Will made it. Just complete bangers through. But this is the lunch right here. Basically went for as calorically dense as possible. So 2 Beyond Burgers on the Aldi toast. It's the, I don't even know what you call it, the Seed-tastic toast from Aldi. I didn't want to go regular buttons because this is higher in calories with a full avocado. So this is going to be good. And then I'll throw some ketchup and lettuce and stuff on it as well. We ran out of pickles, but this should be good to get me through to the next run. And I'm really feeling like my recovery has just been lagging, so we're going to stay on it today. And then coffee, I want to show you all this. I went back to a brand that I haven't had in a while, Portrait. Boom, Portrait Coffee. These guys are based out of Atlanta. This is the one I had this morning, the Rwanda Fugi Natural. It was fire, natural process. They say watermelon and dried kiwi. I was missing those fruitier, that red fruit, strawberry, watermelon flavor from some of the black and white coffees. I felt like they were just getting, a lot of the ones that I've had recently were either citric or more caramel almond flavor. So I wanted to switch it up. That's why I went with Portrait. And then the other one I got is this guy, Kenya. This is, what do they say? Kenya Kiri Mahiga AB. This one is more of a medium roast. They also don't say what process he had. Oh, no, right there. 16 to 18 hour washed. Would you look at that? And it's from the Muranga region. I really don't know anything about the Kenyan regions, but we'll try this one for our coffee this afternoon. More of a medium roast, so we'll see. I typically like the lighter stuff, but it's good to switch it up. Also, I really like these guys and their mission, so it's cool to support other brands. So check out Portrait Coffee if you haven't heard of them. I can highly endorse this one, the Rwanda Fugi Natural, because I did have it this morning, and it's a complete
banger. I got some cherry. I got some strawberry. It was exactly what I wanted. It's really nice, bright, and fruity. And the thing about this is they don't have the funk meter on here, but it's not too funky. So if some of the black and white stuff or the natural processed coffees get too funky for you, you're not going to have that issue with this one. It's a crowd pleaser. I guarantee it. So if you're in a split household, similar to what we are here, because I like some of the funkier stuff. Charlie doesn't always like them. If you're in a split household, I think this one is going to make everybody happy. Would also be really good in espresso. So if you're an espresso type of person, man, this one will make a banger espresso shot. But we're going to fire up this Kenya. I'm nervous. The roast looks a touch darker than what I typically prefer. Let's see. Yeah, that's definitely more of a medium roast right there. Smell test. Yeah, that's more of a medium roast, but we'll see. We'll see. If it's not my favorite for these pour overs, you know what medium roast is really good in? Cold brew. So potentially this just becomes the cold brew coffee, but we got to give it a shot. I'm also just bare hand throwing these beans in. Run number 2. Man, days like today. Hold on. Let me get outside. It's nap time. This is some shoes I got for Charles. But yeah, days like today, man, really reminds me of some of the things that, and I don't want to be too negative here, but some of the things that I absolutely hate about the running industry. Because our girl Ruth, who is the women's world marathon record holder, it came out that she used a banned substance that's known to mask performance enhancing drugs, right? So when she first ran that world record at Chicago last year, a bunch of people were saying she was on PEDs, etc., etc. You now have people literally celebrating the fact that this negative drug test or positive drug test came out. And I've even seen people saying, man, another, I don't even know if you'd call him a shoe tuber or a running shoe reviewer, talking about these people. He said we need to stop celebrating these people. And then had a list of Kenyan marathoners, none of whom had ever been under suspicion of using PEDs, posted a list of them and said, just disgusting stuff. It's the type of stuff with the running industry I just can't get behind. But the thing is, I know a lot of people who come here, they have no idea what I'm talking about because people don't really follow marathons like that. But there's a lot of stuff that just makes me sick. How are you going to celebrate somebody getting a positive drug test? Man, if it was a British marathoner, people would be talking, oh, this is a tragedy. This is a sad day for our sport. No, instead, people are celebrating it, man, because you know why. You know, all right, let's get these miles in. All right, 8 more in the books. That is 22 on the day. That's a good, solid day of running, man. I felt a lot better on that second round. Not that it was particularly fast. I was probably still in the 8s. I wasn't really checking my splits here. Let's see. Oh, 7:52. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 24 seconds. Just about 8.5 miles, 8.45 miles. And, man, I spent a lot of that run just thinking to myself, how should I close out this video? I don't want to be negative, but I was also thinking about, man, there is a lot of ignorance in the running industry, but there's a lot of ignorance everywhere, and we can only control what we can control. But I think sometimes, man, I was put on this earth to call out BS, so I'm going to continue doing that, no matter if it's the shoe brands or just ignorant stuff I see. But I guess what came to me at the end there, and I still don't have all the words to say what I want to say, and it's hard for me to talk about this stuff sometimes, but yeah, please don't celebrate anybody's downfall. I think that's what does it for me, and especially when I can tell that there's another layer to it, and I think that's one piece. The other piece is it's just dangerous to see one person from a group do something and then associate that with everybody else from a group. Just because one Kenyan marathoner was doping doesn't mean every Kenyan marathoner is doping, right? So I think it gets dangerous to do that. Not I think, matter of fact, I know that's a very dangerous line of thinking. And yeah, today I just saw people were all too quick to celebrate the downfall. So me personally, I'm going to keep it positive, keep it pushing. Shout out to everyone who's putting in the work. That left a sour taste in my mouth on the day. And quite honestly, this is why I don't associate with the running industry too much. This is why I'm not all at every marathon trying to shake hands with people, because it is a lot, unfortunately, and now I'm getting negative. I really don't want to do that. But unfortunately, a lot of the running industry is like that. And that is what I've encountered at some places. And they're also great people, like with every group of people, right? There's people that are awesome and people that are not so awesome. But the dominant strain is, unfortunately, ignorant, for lack of a better word. So, yeah, and it's like the same thing with, man, when people were coming at Matt Choi and so happy that he was banned from the New York Marathon. Why? Why are you so happy that somebody failed or did something wrong? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think with the whole BQ thing as well, that's something else. Now I'm just rambling on here, but if you've been watching this channel for a while, I used to talk about how the BQ wasn't my goal, and I was never able to quite put my finger on what it was about BQ, Boston qualifying time, this notion of you have to run this time to be accepted into the club, that made me just feel so weird. And also this chase for the major marathons, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's your goal, but there's a classist element to it that, just anybody can afford to spend thousands of dollars to go to these marathons, and if you're running, that should be your goal. You should be part of this club. So, man, there's a lot of stuff in the running industry that I don't align with, and that's one of the reasons why I just come out here and push the message every day. And that's one of the things behind the whole hobby jogger, and we've been rocking the OG hats today. But behind the whole hobby jogger thing, man, you don't have to run a certain time. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to wear a certain pair of shoes to be in the club. And I think that's why I can question if what I'm doing is a net positive or not with all the shoes, because I really don't like the idea that, you have to be wearing the latest cool things to be considered a real runner or to be part of this. No. If you're getting out here and getting after it and trying to get better daily, you're part of my club. You're part of what I stand for. So I'm going to try to keep it positive. Yeah, I'm sorry if I ended this video on a down note, but some of the stuff I saw online today it was sickening to me. So if I see something that I don't feel is right, I'm going to speak out on it. I think it would be incongruous for me to be out here calling out Adidas for the Adi Star 4 and not speak up when I see something that's racist, right? It's easy for me to be talking about, their QA is wrong, 15 grams. It's a lot harder for me to speak up when I see something that's ignorant, that's a not so easy subject to talk about. So I appreciate you bearing with me, and I appreciate everyone who connects with it and who's getting after it, man. 22 in the Hyperion. Should I say something about the shoe? I should probably say something about the shoe. This was great, man. This is really a great shoe. You can't really feel the big weight once you get it going. The comfort is there. The bounce is there. This is up there my A+ list now for sure. We got it past. I think we get it at 40 miles. I think this guy's at 40 miles now today. So on the way to 100. Let's go. Whew, that was tough.